Hey everyone, have you noticed that AI apps are getting really good at creating designs for print on demand, especially for t-shirts? Now, these are my top three: Ideogram, Mystic, and Playground, and they're all very similar. They all have great templates, and then you can remix them and make them something different and use them for print on demand. Now, what are you really getting that's different than all of these? That's what I want to make this video about, the comparison, not just the designs, because the designs are great. What are the other things that you are paying for in these specific apps? So I'm going to break it down. I'm going to do the ultimate comparison. I'm going to go one by one and give you a table at the end so you can decide which one you want to use. I'm lucky I have access to all three, but most people have to choose one or the other. So I wanted to make this video to help you out, show you which one that would work the best for you, and I'll show you the exact differences, what you're getting for each and how much each of them are. So let's get into Ideogram first, and I'll show you some of the big differences that they have there. All right, so here we are on Ideogram, ideogram.ai, and one thing I like to do when I first got onto a website is kind of see what they're showing us, because that's very important, where you can see like what's important to them and how people use this. So when you scroll through here on the first page, you'll notice that a lot of photos, really good designs, but it's kind of all mixed together, right? We got photos, we got logos, and that's because they do all of these things. So that's one good thing that you can see that's different. The next thing I like to look at is like, what are their categories that are on here? So you notice their categories are first, explore, and top. So this is just looking at kind of a feed, but their main category right here are people. So they highlight that as the first thing. I think they do people really well. Product, so different products you can make on here. Nature, which is really cool. So you notice a lot of photorealistic stuff first. Poster, so not necessarily photorealistic, although I'm sure they can do photorealistic posters. Logo, and then t-shirt is at the end. It's very last, but I mean, look at this, really cool. So, but the point of this is the thing that they put first is what they're highlighting, and I think Ideogram is really good at this, right? And this is what they're good at everything, but I think this is what kind of they're pushing forward, is people, product, nature, and those kinds of things. So that's kind of what you're paying for there, although it does do t-shirts, it does all those other things. The next thing I want to show you is some of the unique features that Ideogram has. So even though it does really good design, t-shirt designs, some of the things the other ones don't have, specifically Playground and Mystic in this case that we're talking about, is this canvas here. So when you come in here, and this is one of the things that I did last, so it just puts it up on the canvas, but you have different things in here. You can generate, you can magic fill with the canvas. I'm not going to show you all of this. I actually have a video about this, but there's different things you can do on this canvas. So this is kind of like a workboard. You can add text to here. You have this other things, upload and download and all this, but you have this specific spot where you can kind of do things to this. Now, it's not the remix, because you can do that here as well. So it's different than just remixing, like coming here and going here and then saying what you want, because they do have that too. This is a totally different thing where you can kind of tweak it, which is what the canvas is. So this is very unique to Ideogram. That's something that you pay for. The next thing that's different, and that I wish more apps had this, because this is really cool. I use this a lot, is the batch feature. So Ideogram has this. You can see I use it a lot. I haven't used it since May, but I've done a ton of these. You can three pages worth. And the idea behind this one, I did a video for this as well, is that you can create things in batches. You can create a CSV file with the text, and you can create hundreds of designs at once. So this can scale your designed things in minutes, right? You can do, I think this one had 20 of them in here, this one had 30, and so on. I just went through and did a bunch, and they turn out great. You don't have to go one by one when you're on here and type a prompt one by one. You can do a bunch of prompts on here, put it in batch, and it will just do a lot of it. So those are the kind of things that Ideogram has that are different than what we're going to see in the other two. One thing I want to show you is also, we should see, does it upscale and remove the background? I'm going to go to t-shirt, I'm going to go to surfing, It does upscale right here, and it does remove background. So boom. But upscale, we have to see how much it upscales. So you can see right here 1024. So I'm going to hit upscale. And sure, I don't know why I did that, but I'm going to hit upscale. Oh, I think it has to create a different one and then upscale, because this isn't really mine. So let's see what happens. So here's the upscaled version that I just did. I hit upscale and it's 248 by 248. I don't know if you can upscale again. I'm gonna try it. So uses 1 credit. I'm gonna hit upscale and let's see if it does it 4 times. So 4 times would be 496 by 496. Let's see if it can do that. So this is my upscaled version of my upscaled, and it didn't really upscale. It only did 248 by 248. So it only does an upscale of 2 times, and it does remove the background. I'm gonna do that here just to see how well it removes the background. And there you go, removing the background. Not the best, it still has some black in here, and I think a lot of AI apps do this right now. Like, I believe all of them kind of have some issues with removing the background. They're not made specifically for that, and so sometimes they have some issues. Hit and miss. Sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not. But when you have multiple black or the same background in multiple places where it's breaking, AI seems to have a hard time with that, at least these 3 that we're talking about. Lastly, I want to show you the prices of Ideogram. What do you get for what you're paying and how much does it cost? So here are the prices. They do not have a free plan anymore. They used to have a free plan, but now you have the basic plan, which is $7 if you do build yearly, $8 if you do build monthly. I'm going to do all of them just to be consistent, all build yearly. Let's just assume we get the lowest price that we can. So $7, you get 400 credits. $16, you get 1,000 credits. And the Pro, $48 a month, you get 3,500 credits. Now credits here, as we saw, sometimes it's 1 for 1, sometimes it's 1.5 for 1. So let me show you the difference for that. So here's where you find how much credits each image is. So it varies a lot depending on what you have. So here I can choose the number of images, and you can see if I use Turbo, which is their fastest one, it's 0.5 per image. And of course, if you do the math, 4 would be 2 credits for 4 of them. If you use the default, it's 1 credit per, so you can see 1 right here. And if you use the quality, you got 1.5, and I'm using the latest model, so that also is the difference. So if I use 2.0 model, you get 0.7 for quality, 0.5, and so on. So it varies, but at the highest, you will pay, if top quality and the latest model, it would be 1.5 per image. So depending on what one you want, that's kind of how the credit system works on Ideogram, and those are the prices. So I'll put that all down in the table that we'll have at the end. Those are all the different things I wanted to tell you about Ideogram. Next up, let's go look at Playground. All right, so this is Playground. This is kind of interesting. This is a new way that they're doing stuff, fairly new. They used to have, their look used to look a lot more like how we saw Ideogram with the feed and everything, but now it wants you kind of to choose which one. So I'm gonna do the same thing here and just tell you all the different, this is gonna be kind of like our menu here. So they have logo and t-shirt and social media post, art, poster. So they do a lot of different things, but I think they have a lot more in their menu, if I'm not mistaken, when we're talking about Ideogram. Ideogram probably had, what, 5 or so? This one has, there's 5, 10, 15, 21 different things on their menu, different things that they do. I'm gonna go by the first one, is they really do want to push logos, t-shirts, and social media posts. I think that like their top 3, right? That's why they would put them here. I'm gonna go to t-shirt and see what the differences are. We can just go to templates right here, but I think we started on create and they want you to kind of pick. So I'm gonna do both and see what happens. So I go t-shirts here, yes. So now that we're on t-shirt templates, we have trending, new, back to school, urban, and all of these. So if I wanted to go like back to school, hold on, I'll go to when it's all loaded and show you what it looks like. All right, so I think that's loaded here. Back to school, this is all of them. I wish they had more, but they don't have that many. Let's just do trending, yeah. So here's where all of them are. yeah, really cool. So really nice stuff. These are things that would look good on a t-shirt, in my opinion. I've seen some of these kinds of things on Etsy and this one, and looks like these would be well, like this is a really cool heart right here, and so on. So really cool graphics. And this is trending t-shirts. Now I'm interested in this just templates here. Let's see how they did that. Oh, cool, right. So on templates, they have templates for you, recently viewed, popular templates, and kind of breaking it down. So one thing that's different on Playground is they have mockups. So I'm gonna go look for that. Let's say I want this on a mockup. Let's go here. So these things down here are the things that are different in Playground that other things don't have. So let's take a look at some of these. Change style, great. Create image, import image, resize. We know that some of them have resize. Change color palette, put in a mockup. Yeah, that's definitely something the other ones don't have. Put in a mockup. Change face style. I haven't seen that in the other two as well. Erase object. That's kind of like the Canva thing that we saw, but they have it built in here, and so you don't have to go to the Canva. Add text, which I think that Canva one also has. Add rectangle. So you can kind of do it. It's kind of working like that Canva thing that Ideogram has, where you can add things to it. An arrow, a line, a rectangle, a text. So if I click on here, I can just add text on here. Let's say I wanted to say American dog. It does it, which is kind of neat because, you know, you can change the font if you want. Like, I want a specific font. I don't have to type that into the prompt. And I can make it bigger and smaller and so on. Put it on the top if I want. Stretch it out if I want, and so on. So pretty cool. I could do that. I could also come in here and erase an object. Let's say I want to erase, I don't know, maybe the star here. And you don't want stars on here. I could come in here and do that. That's something different. I could hit erase and let's see what happens. Yeah, I did an okay job. I think I might have to erase again, but you can see the stars are gone. And the last thing I think that's really interesting about Playground is put in a mockup. So let's see what happens. I can put the sticker on here. Let's see how that works on a water bottle. I wonder if it just wraps around it, and it's going to be interesting how it does it. So if it's having a hard time, I'm going to go back and explore and like maybe pick another one. And you know what? I'm just going to go to templates. I'll pick this guy. And then I'm going to put in a mock-up. Hopefully it works here. I'm just going to pick this one or this one, or I don't know. Playground's having a hard time here. Let's see if it works. It's running slow. Hopefully I'm not picking the time that they're updating stuff, and because AI apps actually update a lot because they're always changing, always creating new things and helping out. So I wouldn't be surprised if I'm just at the bad time right here, but isn't working. Sorry, Playground, but rest assured that they do put things on mockups, and sometimes it helps. So these are all the mockups on here that it does. I've done it before and it looks great on these, and that's one thing that a lot of the other ones don't have, and could be because it's really hard to do. So sorry that Playground is freaking out right now. I don't know what's happening, but I do have a video for it right here. Usually it works great, and it has all the different things, and I believe I did a mock-up one there, but you can see how it works. So I wanted to show you the prices, and I'm going to do it annually like some of the other ones. Free, there's a free version where you can create 10 images every 3 hours. They don't do the credits thing. They kind of do more of a time-based thing. For $12, you can create 120 images every 3 hours. So you can do that. And the other one is team. If you're working in a team, I don't think we need that if you're a solopreneur and you're doing it yourself. So basically they have these two plans, free or pro, and you can see some of the differences here. I'll put this in the table as well. All right, so last up is Mystic, and we're gonna do the same kind of things. Let's see kind of their categories. The first thing that we see here on Mystic is t-shirts. So I believe that's the thing that they're focusing on. And you can see these are like Playground. These are the kinds of things that you'll see on t-shirts on print on demand. And they also have a back to school, which is interesting. Let's see how many they have. And luckily this is working great. And they have a ton of back to school stuff, which makes sense because it's in the, the first spot right here. So a lot of cool stuff on here for back to school. That's kind of the next big holiday that's coming up. Not really a holiday, but big event that's coming up that print on demand people love to create designs for, because that's what people are buying t-shirts for. T-shirts for teachers and students and back to school and all of that. So next thing they have is stickers and mugs and posters and logos. So a lot less sections, but within each of these stickers and mugs and posters, it's kind of like a playground where they have the different categories, right? So t-shirt back to school, t-shirt humor, t-shirt vintage and nature and pets and so on. So really cool. And you can do it by popular and newest. So let's see kind of the things that they have that's different. I think they kind of do, like I said, a lot of them do the same things where you can come in here, you can kind of go forward and backwards, kind of like Playground does. You can remix here. You can do a style and size. One of the things I didn't show all of them is if you come in here, and it's kind of a hidden thing, well, not really hidden. You can come up here and do how many remixes, how many do you want to do? 5 at a time. I think this is actually the most that all of them do. I think a lot of them do 4 at a time, so giving that one extra template that you get on here is really neat. And you can import like all of them do here. And let's see about removing backgrounds. We didn't do that in Playground, but they can remove background and upscale it. It's just that it wasn't working as well, but they do have that, and I'll put that in the template as well. Some of the things on here that you can do is you can remix this. You can't remix it 5 times because this one just does 1 at a time, which Playground just does 1 at a time, but here's a secret one that you may not know. I'm going to go back to templates, and you can come in here and hit remix here and then do it 5 times. See that? That's kind of a hack there, which is neat. And let's see, I know I'm jumping back and forth here, but it does remove background. Again, upscale 4 times. So not just 2 times, but 4 times. I believe Playground's 4 times as well. Some of the other things that you're getting is collections. So if you're making a ton, because you can scale it so many times and so many ways, I think this is a really cool thing that you can put these into collections. So if I was doing a lot of back to school stuff, which they have, which I should probably do a lot of back to school ones, I would put a collection on here of my back to school designs and just have it all together. You can see I did it for Mother's Day, Cinco de Mayo, and so on, maybe different corgis and different things that I was actually playing with this. But I would come in here. Actually, I do have some designs that I made for back to school. You can see right here from what we saw there, just kind of changed it to 3rd grade instead of the other thing and made it look a little different. Added some flowers on this one. And so I could come in here and select all of these and make a collection. I'll just do that right now. This is something that the other ones don't have. So adding to collection would be a bookmark, and then you can create a collection, which I don't have. So I'm gonna do back to school like that and hit create. And now when I go to my collections, let's see, yeah, I have the back to school here, and it's adding it to it now, so you don't see it, but I did that too fast. So all of them will come in here into the back to school. So that's something that they don't have, that they have that others don't have, are collections, which I think is really smart, because as you scale this thing a lot, you want to kind of put them in different collections as you do. Maybe you do a bunch of back to school stuff, maybe you do a bunch of USA things and so on. So I like that they keep updating this, that it's new on here with the newest things, and you can kind of see that it's rating it from most popular too. So let's check the prices. So here are the different prices for Mystic. This is the one I have, the $20 one, but they also have a free version like Playground, unlike Ideogram. And here you get 10 credits per week right there. And so these are how their credits work. 1 credit for square generations, 1.5 credits for portraits. So it's not based on models or anything like that. It's based on size. And here you have 150 credits for $8 a month, 400 credits for $20 a month, and 1,200 credits for $60 a month. Now it's a free background removal and free upscaling. When you have the paid subscriptions, you cannot do those with the free. So that's one of the differences here as well. So those are all the differences between Ideogram, Playground, and Mystic. Let me show you the chart that I made. So here is my quick table that you can refer to just by looking, so you can compare them all together. Ideogram, Playground, and Mystic here. So first things first, the sections that they have: people, product, nature, poster, logo, t-shirt. Ideogram has that. Playground has a lot more, 21 of them. I just put the first few that I could fit in here. And Mystic does t-shirts, stickers, mugs, posters, logos. And the reason I put that in is because you can see what they're concentrating on. So right now, Mystic is really thinking about t-shirts for print on demand. It makes sense because that's what they're doing. Ideogram's more open to do, you know, photorealistic stuff and products. We saw that in nature, so not just POD stuff, but all those. And Playground just does a whole bunch of things. So if you need to do a lot of different things, you know, probably Playground. If you're just thinking of print on demand on these things, maybe Mystic. If you want to do photorealistic, that's kind of why I put this here. So unique features: Ideogram has that Canva thing where you can go and change things around and have all those different things, magic background and all that stuff. Really cool batches where you can create a bunch of them at the same time with a CSV file. None of them have that. Playground has put in a mock-up, which we didn't get to see really well here. They do that. I'll have to do a video for that, but it wasn't working right now. Add text and erase, it does that as well. Kind of some of the things that the Canva thing does on here, it does that too. The thing that Mystic does that's different is collection. So that's something they all do. T-shirt designs really well, or print on demand designs really well. These are some of the things that they do that's different that you're paying for. Remixes at once. Ideogram does 4 designs at once. Playground does 1 design at a time. Mystic does 5 designs at once at the highest thing. So you can do that. Upscale, Ideogram only upscales 2 times. So only 248 we saw that. It doesn't do 496 is was kind of the size that you need for print on demand. So if you need something for print on demand with Ideogram, you're going to have to upscale it somewhere else. For Playground, it does 4x and Mystic does 4x. So both of those are big enough for print on demand. Remove background, yes, we saw I did it on Ideogram. I forgot to do it on Playground and Mystic, but they both do that as well. There's the buttons to do that. So hit and miss for a remove background, honestly, for all of these. Sometimes it's great and it removes it perfectly. Sometimes we see what we saw in the Ideogram where some of the background is still there. And price, this is why I made this table, so that you can kind of see what you're getting for each price. So Ideogram doesn't have a free version anymore. They have this one, and I put 7 for monthly, also 7 for yearly and 8 for monthly, kind of backwards here. But the cheaper price if you go yearly is what it's at here. And 400 credits, 1,000 credits, and so on. And I put here what the credits are based off of. So depending on what you want and how much you want to spend in your budget and all of that, I think this is really helpful, the price. So there you go. That's my ultimate comparison with all those 3. I wanted to compare the differences besides just the graphics. I've done those before, comparing graphics to graphics. I wanted to show you kind of the differences that they have besides the graphics and what you're paying for that's extra on top of that, since all of the graphics are really good. So let me know in the comments if there's any of these features that you want me to do a specific video on. I'm planning to do one for the mock-ups with Playground since it didn't work in this video. Hope to show how that works and what you can put it on. Thanks again for watching. If you are interested in creating designs with AI, I have a whole playlist. I'll put that right here where you can see things that I did with Ideogram and Mystic and Playground and some of the other AI apps to create designs for print on demand. Thanks again for watching, and as always guys, keep creating and keep learning. I'll see you on the next one.